just simply because I've gotten to meet a lot of young people as they've started out, and I've seen them move all over the country. I have friends in major markets, small markets, some of the people that started doing weather that aren't even in the business at all. So it's fun to watch these people move on and grow, including Mark. And fortunately, with each contract renewal, they've been fortunate to keep me on and allowed me to pay me a living wage. Um,
Yeah, it's a little interview we have that's premiering right now on my channel as I'm recording this. That's Mike McCabe. He's the TV weatherman down there in Pasco, Washington. So, meteorologist of the or weatherman of the year in 2019 down there, and he's getting a big award in Seattle right now, Lifetime Achievement Award, coming up in a few weeks there for him. Excellent interview, so you can see that on my channel. Make sure you check that out. And you can watch the whole live stream if you want to. You can just go to the live stream thing there on my channel and click on that, and you can find all of our comedy meteorology reports. Great episode last night. Anyways, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about what Mike would be talking about right now, which is the fact that we got a wet weekend coming into BC, snowfall at the high levels and inland, and things like that, of course, as per usual. And on top of that, the storm that we have seen depart from BC is now going off to become an absolute disaster maker through that it's affecting the entire continent, basically from Gulf of Mexico, all the way up to Hudson Bay. Big time storm. So we'll look at all that in this episode. Let's go. There it is. This is bad news. My God.
Falling out right now.
Anything could happen. Get on! Wow. I'll watch the video later. They dry up in this. Welcome to the Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. I'm Joey Only, the Caribou Weather Dude. Hit like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Keep coming on back again. If you want to see me performing live, I'm an outlaw country singer. Many of you might know, Joey Only. I'll be down in Penticton at the very end of this month playing at Ignite the Arts Festival, ignitethearts.ca. You can use the promo code, all one word, capitals, Caribou Weather Dude, to get 20% off for your tickets for the entire weekend. Okay, let's get to the weather. So, nothing right now on the bad news battle board for British Columbia, and that's great. That's what we want to see. But this is all related to the storm So basically, we had our little low come through. It makes an Alberta Clipper. That Alberta Clipper is joining this larger Colorado low that's moving across the continent right now and is going to start firing up in the Iowa region most likely soon-ish today. We're talking about the possibility of severe thunderstorm outbreak and whatnot. And then the backside, we're just going to see blizzard conditions. So we're already seeing now into Manitoba, snowfall warnings for our friends up there. Northern Manitoba, that goes right up towards Churchill. Flin Flon's already seeing snow today. That will spread northeast this afternoon into Churchill by Saturday morning. Of 15 to 25 centimeters could be what you're seeing there. Still a little bit left for you in Saskatchewan, 2 to 5 centimeters left there on that warning. I'm sure that'll end soon. Winter storm watch now in Western Ontario. Winter storm conditions possible on Saturday. Could see risk of freezing rain, poor visibility, snow, 15 centimeters. We will come back, talk about BC in a second, but I do want to sort of paint the story here on exactly, because people said to me, people were all mad. I'm leaving Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers. I can't believe he said his forecast video says people are going to die. And the truth is, people are going to die. You can see that freezing rain risk up across Northern Ontario. Sure. Down in the south, we're looking at special weather statement. We could see rainfall of 20 to 40 centimeters, wind gusts of 70 to 80. There's that risk of severe thunderstorms in Southern Ontario this weekend as a part of that line, that larger line, which is going to be heading all the way down towards. And I think, you know what we could do right now? We can turn on the radar and get a glimpse of where things are actually at right now. So just giving you sort of an idea. You can see that line. We can see basically where the low is, because there's a frontal boundary right now just touching into Iowa coming out of Nebraska, and you can see the backside of it there with them snowy conditions there in Nebraska. So that is what's going on for you. You can see all the nastiness already taking place in Ontario. And just to touch on that tornado story briefly here, I got a couple things we can look at ahead of time. Threats of tornadoes through Birmingham, Alabama, right? So here's what the U.S. National Weather Service is saying down there. High risk, 5 out of 5. And you have to understand this, friends, that we've only had 3 high risk warnings ever issued. Only twice. Once in 2012 and once since then have they been issued in the past number of decades, right? This is a very rare setup a very extreme setup where you could see large hail, you could see damaging wind, could see strong long track tornadoes, F2 strength or stronger through Birmingham, for example. Just one of the places. So high risk level 5 out of 5 has been issued for much of the area Saturday afternoon through the night. Strong long track tornadoes, damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour. Miles per hour, friends, and hail up to 2 inches are possible. Stay inside. Here we have live storm chasers are saying the high risk area. They're showing exactly where it is right now. Numerous significant tornadoes, some of which could be long track, potentially violent, are expected. Level 5 out of 5, tornado outbreak expected tomorrow. A significant tornado outbreak is likely on Saturday across the central Gulf Coast states, deep south and Tennessee Valley. Numerous significant tornadoes, including long track, potentially violent ones, are expected. The most dangerous tornado threat will begin in eastern Louisiana and Mississippi during the late morning, spread to Alabama in the late day and evening, and reach western parts of Florida Panhandle and Georgia on Saturday night. If you know anybody living in the United States in any of these red regions, make sure you're talking to them, whether they're up in Louisville, Kentucky there, or, if they're in Bowling Green. We just saw there's Bowling Green, Kentucky. They've been hit by a large tornado in the past, and just a couple years ago, as a matter of fact, all the way down to Lafayette. New Orleans even could be in that enhanced risk area. In the high risk area, you're seeing that Birmingham, Alabama, Jackson, Hattiesburg. These are areas that could be seeing some significantly destructive, damaging situation. Here's what Reed Timmer's saying. Rare high risk has been issued. Dangerous day tomorrow after a dangerous night tonight. Tonight, we're going to see that action kick off. But that high risk, and like I say, and generally in the weather world, if we're saying there's a moderate risk, that's like, look out, huge risk, to what the common person would understand, right? So, oh yeah, by the way, Frankie's saying hi this morning.
I'd like to say hi, Joey Ollie. Say hi, Joey Ollie.
Hi, what?
Say hi, Joey Ollie.
Hi, what?
Hi, Joey Ollie.
I'm Frank Down. You're listening to Meteorological Weather Report every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. Joey Ollie is a firefighter at Wells, British Columbia. I got a lot of fans in British Columbia. Joey Ollie used to work for Vancouver Giants Western Hockey League team. He's a big fan of Prince George Cougars. It's on CFUR 88.7 FM, Prince George, and CKUW 95.9 FM, Winnipeg, and CFPX 92.5 FM in Kamloops. So Joey Ollie's a really nice guy. He fights fires at Wells, British Columbia. I'm on his podcast every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. I got a lot of fans in Wells, British Columbia, in Prince George and interior British Columbia, like Continental, British Columbia, Kamloops, Kelowna, Revelstoke, Golden, Salmon Arm, and all these places in British Columbia, and Summerlane, British Columbia, and Kelowna, Vernon, and all those places, and Salmon Arm, and all the way up to Prince George, Quesnel, and Wells, British Columbia, including Fort St. John, Fort Nelson, and Dawson Creek, and Terrace, and even Prince Rupert, British Columbia, and Fort St. James, British Columbia. I got a lot of fans in interior British Columbia. I'm on Meteorological Weather Report. It's with every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. It's with Imogen Cookie Bailey, Brandon Helk, and all those guys. Joe Sofer of Manitoba. It's on the Mark Inglis and all those guys at Meteorological Weather Report. Best of luck, y'all. I'm Frank Down. You listen to Joey Ollie Show every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. Say hi, Joey Ollie.
Hi, Joey Ollie.
Thanks, Frankie. Performance schedules are up for Ignite the Arts Festival, by the way. So I do know that Friday I'm performing downstairs. 10:45 to 11 is when I start. And then, of course, on the Sunday, I'm playing at the Dream Cafe. Yes. So see you on Sunday afternoon for the Dream Cafe. Great location there in Penticton, BC. So that's where I'll be. Like I say, Caribou Weather Dude, all one word, 20% off your tickets. Okay, long track EF2 tornadoes possible, right? All but certain this weekend. That's just giving you an example here on Reed Timmer's. I'll move my head out of the way now. Reed Timmer's look at where those significant long track tornadoes could be. So really, really crazy situation. That's just setting the table. Now let's get back to talking about British Columbia. It's overcast right now in Wells and lightly snowing. We'll just turn on the infrared here. You can see a large flow coming off that Pacific there. The high pressure is helping steer it in towards where we have the new low that's developed. It's already impacting California, Northern California, a little bit of Oregon. Not too much happening. Like I say, light precipitation in BC right now in places like here in the mountains, just lightly falling, lightly overcast. I don't think many people got to see much of the eclipse last night here. I know that Justin over in Manitoba weather center in Manitoba definitely saw quite a bit of it. So here's our mid-lat cyclone that's been deepening and now reaching 978 millibars central low pressure. You can see how the backside, there's a whole bunch of mess happening up there through the northern parts of Manitoba, coming into western Ontario. You can see how already we're looking at storms going to start firing up there on the front side as we come in the afternoon into Iowa and whatnot. On the backside here, heavy snow all the way down to Colorado. That's just your sort of general overview of where we're at this morning. And I say this morning still because it's 11:53 or something like that right now at the time of recording. A little bit of snow in southern BC this afternoon. Lightly snowing, nothing too wild. Look at, there's our thunderstorms already firing off today. Kirksville, Columbia, areas of Mississippi, Des Moines, Iowa, all areas, Iowa City, all areas that are starting to see that first. Individual cells firing off in the south down there. We will come back to BC in a second, but we've talked about this so much. Just want to give you that kind of a look on here, what we're looking at tonight. Heavy development, heavy thunderstorms, strong thunderstorms, and blizzard conditions on the backside. Absolute disaster through Ontario. Coming into blizzard conditions this weekend for our friends up there in Churchill. Meanwhile, BC seeing a little bit of this week low. Yeah, we are going to get some of this precipitation. Looks like for you guys in Washington, you're seeing it heaviest first. Absolutely. So look out for areas like Yakima, seeing some precip. In the mountains, seeing snow. Wenatchee. So lots of that snow, and by the time we hit in the morning time, that's moving in Saturday into southern BC. So I expect that we're going to see some possible warnings for the Highway 3 area, first of all, sometime issued today by Environment Canada. I would expect that. They've been kind of slow and weird about when and how they release them. Heavy precip for the Vancouver area, Coast Mountains taking a lot of snow. Revelstoke, I would think Saturday afternoon, don't be trying to drive over the Rogers Pass. Don't be trying to travel into Alberta. The Rocky Mountains are going to be heavy snow up and down all the way through the Rockies. That's going to work its way to the Caribous late Sunday or Saturday night, starting into Sunday morning. We're going to be seeing more of that squeezing in. Interior looking fairly dry. What about you in the north? Hitting you good. Look at this atmospheric river, though, slamming into Oregon. They're going to be just taking it hard this weekend. That is some amazing heavy precipitation. So this low is spinning. It's dragging this tail in behind. We're getting some of the benefit of the precipitation in BC, but that is absolutely wild. Look at that. Man, Eugene, Oregon, everywhere. Oh, yeah, you are going to be absolutely drenched. It's going to be absolutely wild. So that's a heavy story for you. Meanwhile, light snow Sunday in the north, light snow, heavier snow still down in southern BC. May still see some, like I say, some snowfall warnings for that area. I kind of expect in that southeastern corner of BC. Terrace going to be taking a turn, areas to the south of you in the mountains around you. So fresh snow on your mountains. Look forward to that. Fresh snow for the ski resorts. We'll take a second here in a minute, and we'll look at how much snow is possible. Why don't we just... Wow, look at that. Northern California taking it good. So that's quite the story. That's going to be a new low that's going to usher in a whole nother severe story, I'm sure, for the Americans next week. Let's get back for a second and just look at this tornado outbreak. I mean, we could really go through all kinds of maps here. We could look at the Cape values. We could look at... if you want, we could look at helicity. We could look at wind shear. There's a whole bunch of things we could look at. But I think if you want that sort of stuff, you should be looking at your American storm chasers and forecasters and things like that right now, because they're going to have the best up-to-date analysis on that stuff. For those guys, I'm just kind of telling you that this is happening. It's a big story this weekend happening. Look at that low coming up towards Hudson Bay at 980 millibar low, 979, deepening again, so re-strengthening as it gets up north, and given the blizzard conditions to the Manitoba shoreline, especially, maybe even up through Nunavut and whatnot. So then you're seeing that heavy precipitation Sunday morning into southern Ontario, just drenching. You already had your severe storm risk on Saturday. We could just back up a little bit and see. There you go. There's your severe storm risk comes Saturday afternoon for southern Ontario. This seems to be spreading a little bit more. It was really to later parts of the night when I first looked at this, and it was later to areas that were west of London. So now we're seeing a stronger chance of stronger storms in southern Ontario. And look at this heavy band of precipitation that's going to precede up to that north. Some of those could still fire up with some lightning and whatnot. It's not out of the question, overnight storms. But are we going to see tornadoes in southern Ontario? Not out of the question. It is in a marginal risk area or something to that effect. But I think we're looking at up and down this line for where that's going to be this weekend. Okay, back to BC, and let's just look at precipitation numbers for across the board here to start. So I've got it set for more or less now till Monday early afternoon, just to sort of get you through the weekend and what we're talking about for snowfall, precipitation and things like that. So heavy snow up and down the California mountains. Could see 68 centimeters in there. Oh, on the northern side of California, looking okay, close to a meter, more than a meter in Oregon's mountains. So that's going to be big time for avalanche conditions for you. Idaho, seeing a spike in snow there. Some pretty big snow, 61 centimeters. That's good looking snow. Some of these areas in Colorado taking a little less on the backside of the low. When it comes through 18 centimeters, 20 centimeters, sure. Some of those areas up towards I've seen some pretty alarming numbers on what could be falling on Hudson Bay. Well, one of the things for sure is the polar bears are going to have quite a bit of fresh snow to be going through in southern BC. Wow, what are we looking at over the next couple of days? Some spikes could see a foot in some places, sure. I would think this is why we're looking at the risk of maybe some warnings in the Kootenays along these areas. If you look at the Coast Mountains, 40 centimeters, sure. So, some snow, heavy snow up the Olympics, 39 centimeters, 40 centimeters there. Heavy snow. Here in the Caribous, not near as much, 10 centimeters. Yeah, we're kind of on the north end of it. 14, if you go some of these areas north of Revelstoke, I would think still the pass is going to, I would think that there's going to be snow falling on that Rogers Pass. So when I said don't plan to travel Saturday through Rogers Pass in the late afternoon, I mean it. I think I'll be proven right on that one. And some heavier snow in the north end of the Coast Mountains. Okay, well, let's juxtapose that with rain. And you see a streak of snow, but some of that could be freezing rain and rain, as you're going to see here. So we'll just click on rain accumulation here for a second for that same time period. Now you can kind of see, first of all, where our atmospheric river is going to be hitting into Oregon. 143 millimeters. I mean, that's some really, really heavy rain for them. Expecting risk of washouts and landslides. California, so you're going to see some of that fall as rain, some of that fall as snow, depending on your elevation, depending on your timing, depending, you could be, sometimes too with mountain forecasting, it's like, it's 2 degrees Celsius, but it's still snowing. I have that all the time here in Wells. It's snowing even though it's above zero, right? So I find that mountain forecasting is a little trickier than maybe you might expect for that reason, right? Even though the air temperature is warm, the mountains don't necessarily care. And so some of those same areas in southeastern BC where we're seeing heavier snowpack, snowfall through the weekend, we're looking at the chance of heavy rain as well. So, of course, and we do know the lower mainland is going to be taking a lot of rain, a little bit of rain. But most that central interior fairly dry through the weekend for snow or for rain. So the story is definitely not for much for areas Prince George, Williams Lake, and down towards Kamloops. No, better chance of precip in Kelowna, better chance in Revelstoke, better chance out to Cranbrook, better chance in that southern BC corridor. So I think the avalanche risks really reflect what we're seeing here. 40 centimeters or more snow slabs, reactive slabs when the sun comes out and temperatures rise. Expect avalanche activity. I think that we're going to see some of that show up. The Reds, we'll probably get an increase in the danger through this weekend, I would think, in that southern BC area. So I'd recheck Avalanche Canada for their updates later this weekend, before you go out tomorrow and whatnot. So everyone in BC, have yourself a real safe weekend. And I'm in Facebook jail for a long time, everybody on Weather Watchers. So expect that Bobby Bobcat will be your Joey only weatherman. It's me. That's same person. Bobby Bobcat's one of my old nicknames. So I pulled it out of retirement to use it again. Hit like, share, subscribe. Oh, and one thing I do need to bring up before I do that is, I was pretty frustrated yesterday. There was sometimes like every angle I'm just getting negativity, and then I'm not feeling like I'm progressing here on the channel, like views start going down, negativity starts going up, and you're like, man, I'm trying really hard to do something here for everybody. So I do want to just shout out everybody who's really stepped up to, try to encourage me and try to put some food on my plate as well. New Patreons like Shelly DeSottles. Thank you, Tracy, really much for the very, very much for the donation. Like, that is incredible. Thank you so much. Sandy, Hayden, Merriman is up more for their Patreon. Amy, new member at Patreon. Kristen G, new member. Thank you so much. Can't thank you enough. And then also D. Paulson sent a really nice gift into my PayPal, and the PayPal is what I often end up, thanks David, it was what I end up often using for paying for the apps especially. So that is really, really helpful to always have a bit of money in the PayPal. So thanks all of you. And then for the new channel members who've come, I think next episode I should take a minute and look at who some of the new channel members are and shout you out too. So thanks everybody. You're keeping me going. You're keeping me forecasting, keeping me talking. Make sure you go check out our interview with Mike McCabe from Pasco, Washington last night. Great guy. I had so much fun, learned so much. And that's one of the beautiful things, and when it comes for the weather time for the weather nerds to talk, it's like all the problems of the world go out the window and we just geek out on weather, and it's a wonderful thing that we still have, us guys. So anyways, that's the show for this morning. We'll see you next time. Bye.